And that's the law of sex. How you have sex determines what you create. We talked about magic and black magic, and we talked about manifesting. So you know that oh so trendy thing that everybody loves to do, right? Everybody's talking about it, right? Manifest your desires. Manifest what you want. Manifest unlimited abundance. Who wants the unlimited abundance? What elements inside of you will have these desires? When you practice manifestation, you are harnessing the creative energies within you. You're using your divine mother, your creative force, but you're conditioning it, you're channeling it, and you're filtering it through your egos who want these outcomes. Wants the new car or the new house or the new job or the new sexual partner. Yeah, you can manifest them. You can use the law of attraction, because remember, we talked about attraction last week. It's an essential part of love and it's an essential part of sex. Two things coming together, and you can do all that, and it's called black magic. So what is white magic? It's how you have sex, what you use, and how you use the creative sexual force that determines the outcome. So you could have two individuals practicing magic, one of them practicing driven by their ego and their desires, their fear, their lust, their pride, their greed. You can have another one who's also manifesting, but they're manifesting with their heart. They're manifesting from the perspective of their higher self. And every prayer, every visualization that they have is for the benefit of others. And no matter what it is that they're praying for or trying to make happen or trying to manifest or visualizing the world being healed, they always say, but not my will, but thine be done. Or may all this be done in accordance with the law, the great law of karma, which basically says, as for example, as Jesus said in the garden on the night before his crucifixion, and he prayed and he said, God, may this cup pass from me, but not my will, but thine be done. Those are the words of a mortal who knew what he really truly was and what was necessary for him to go through, but still the mortal was still weak and fearful, afraid, and still governed by the self-preservation instinct, like all intellectual animals are. But he didn't sit there and try to manifest his way out of the crucifixion. He said, not my will, but thine be done. In other words, he said, may everything unfold in accordance with the law. Here's my 2 cents. Here's what I would like to see happen for the sake of others. So for example, when you ask for someone's healing, when you pray for someone to be healed, and you can visualize and you can bathe them in gold and blue light coming from your heart, you can sacrifice your creative energy for their sake, for the sake of their healing, for the sake of their wellness, for the sake of them overcoming their suffering. But you do so with great humility in recognition of the great law. And you say, but not my will, but thine be done. So let what is best for this person unfold, and not allow my mortal ideas about what this person needs supersede the forces at work in the universe playing themselves out in that individual's life, because maybe that individual needs to be sick. And we've talked about this. But a black magician never says that. A black magician doesn't care. Black magician only wants to exert their power, only wants to exert their control, because that's the forces of mechanical nature. They are deterministic. They want to impose their will on others, even if they would argue and claim that they're well-intentioned and look, I healed him or I healed her. I'm such a powerful magician. I was able to heal that person from afar. Yeah, but what if it took the lords of karma an entire lifetime to orchestrate that particular illness that particular individual needed to go through in order to pay some karma or to comprehend something about themselves, to get to the bottom of some demon that was haunting them? And then you come along and you heal them without any regard to any of that, because you want them to be healthy. So you come in and you impose your will against the will of God. You have the power. There are lots of black magicians out there doing exactly this. There's lots of people manifesting all kinds of wealth and power and fame and fortune. And look at them. They're absolutely miserable. They're in hell, but they have their power. They have their control. They've become masters at using the creative force. But all of this is so important. And how many times have you encountered discussions around sacred sexuality and none of this was ever revealed or ever even touched on? It's like going to a gun show instead of a gun safety course first, right? It's like going to a racetrack and climbing into a race car before you've had a driving lesson. Again, it's a child wielding a .45 caliber of their father. And they're doing so completely like children, immature, like children, but they're wielding that gun like they're Rambo.